because, well, first and foremost, let's welcome to the program Mr. Dana White. Dana, how are you, sir?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Not too bad. You know, I've been coming to this like my 30-something Radio Row, and I'm always pushing MMA, and I've always pushed the UFC.
I was just telling these guys when we were walking over here, I said, man, he's an OG. When I used to do press conference and 3 media members would show up, you were one of the 3.
UFC 11 was my first UFC.
Beautiful, man. Yeah, you've been a huge supporter of the sport forever, and we appreciate you.
I took Matt Hughes' belt to the Jacksonville Super Bowl. I think it was in 2005.
Right.
You know, trying to push the sport, trying to get MMA where we wanted it to eventually to go. And I'm so excited for the past 3 days. You know, all of the athletes walking around, the UFC athletes, you walking around. It's taken a long time to get to this point. Talk about what you had to go through.
It has, but it hasn't. I mean, when you think about how big we've become in just 20 years, it's pretty amazing. You know, it's been a fight. It's been a lot of hard work, but anything worth, you know,
sure,
worth having is you got to fight for. So it's been fun. I've had a blast. I love Radio Row, man. The energy in here is always really good, and you meet a lot of cool people, and it's fun. My son got accepted to play football at USD, and this weekend is the big, you know, official offer weekend. So I literally flew out here to do this, and then I'm flying right back to go to San Diego to go do that this weekend. That's how much I like Radio Row.
Is that why you changed I think it's the Wednesday, you know, when we do all the press with the UFC? It's kind of changed a little bit into this, you know, with the open, you know, everybody sitting there.
Yeah, I think that we've gotten to a point now where there's so much media. It's not like the old days. Like, I would do a press conference and answer everybody's question. Then I would do a scrum. You know, then I would do one-on-ones after the scrum. I mean, there's so many people now, you can't do that like you used to.
I don't want to get in trouble with the other media people, but I have always said that's awful. It's the same questions, you know, asked of you and asked of the fighters. I'm like, why do we do this?
Yeah, but the reality is back then, back then we had, 10, 15 guys, right, that would cover the sport. And, some people were spending their own money or using what little budgets they had to come do that. So I was like, man, I'll give these guys whatever they want. So very fortunate that in the early days we could do stuff like that. And it was fun.
Oh, absolutely. Back when your event was on Saturday, Super Bowl weekend, I would come here to do Radio Row. I would then fly to Vegas for the Saturday fight, and I'd red-eye it back to the Super Bowl.
Amazing.
Because I would not miss this.
Yeah, you've been around for a long time, man. We appreciate you.
I know that. Thank you very much. I know that you've talked about this. I was at the Atlantic City UFC. Donald Trump was there. I was at MSG last year. Donald Trump was there. It was incredible. The atmosphere was there, and I know you've talked about it. But what was it like? You're in the back, sitting there with the President of the United States.
Yeah, I was just the radio show I just came from. We were talking about it, and this guy has been such a good friend to me, over the last 20 years, and he's been even a better friend since he's become the president. I was literally for UFC Fight Pass. I was in a meeting and I was screening all these new shows that we're doing, and my phone starts lighting up all zeros, and it says Washington D.C. Right. So I said, pause it. Be quiet. I take the call, and it says, Mr. White, this is the White House. I have the president calling for you. Can you speak with him? And I said, absolutely. Put him through. And they're like, connecting you to Air Force One. Air Force One operator, Mr. White, we have the president. This was like 2 days before I came here. And the first thing he says is, how did Cowboy only last 40 seconds? He's a huge fan. He's a good friend. And the guy has always been amazing to me. And to have him there that night was awesome, man. It was awesome for the sport. It's awesome for the athletes. And obviously a very special personal moment for me.
Tell me the first fight you think of. Now, we all know, it's the Stephan Bonner, the Forrest Griffin. That's what kind of helped kick us to the next level, us. Like, I had a lot to do with it. But, what's the second fight that you think of? First one that comes to mind.
Yeah, obviously Bonner Griffin was massive for the sport. I would probably have to say the next big one for us that really blew it up was probably Chuck and Tito.
Okay.
There was always that fighting with me and Tito and Chuck and Tito and all this other stuff, and it was like me and Chuck versus Tito going into that fight, and Chuck won by spectacular knockout, and really Chuck Liddell became a huge rock star, Then he knocked out Couture, which was huge. That felt like the time when the sport was really starting to take off.
I hate to always ask these athletes, like Otto Graham was a friend of mine, and I said, what would you be worth today? He was the highest paid player, $40,000 a year. What would Chuck Liddell do today in his heyday?
Chuck Liddell made big money then.
Well, I understand that. No, I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck Liddell made really big money then. To be honest with you, Chuck, if you look at the era that Chuck fought in, Chuck was one of the highest paid guys,
And that's kind of the way Otto Graham said it too. The money he made back then in the 40s is equal to now.
No. Chuck Liddell made the type of money back then that these guys are making now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talked about, Chuck and Tito and you and all that. There was a conversation that happened just over by Tampa Bay Channel 10 booth the other day. I'm just curious your thoughts on Usman and Masvidal.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate when that stuff happens. We show up at the NFL Radio Row and look like Neanderthals, and for people like this, when guys like that start getting into it, it scares people. People get scared. And, it's bad. It's not good. Everybody thinks because I'm a promoter, I'm like, yeah, that's great. And obviously those two are going to fight, you know what I mean? But it's not good. It's not good when that happens. It scares people. If they touched each other, I'm sure the police would have been involved. Then you get, these guys would be in all kinds of legal trouble. Who knows what the athletic commissions would do from there? It's not good for anybody.
When do you think that fight will happen?
That fight's going to happen. That fight was already in the.
Right.
It's going to happen. International Fight Week in Vegas.
Well, there you go. Final question for you. The Patriots are playing the Las Vegas Raiders in the AFC Championship. Where are we?
I am a Patriots fan. I always have been and always will be a Patriots fan. If the Patriots do not take Tom Brady needs to come to Vegas. Vegas has the money to pay him. The stadium is badass. It's 45 minutes flight away from LA. His family can live in LA. His wife is a supermodel. She can do all her stuff out there. There's no state tax in the state of Nevada. Buy a house in Nevada, no state taxes. This guy's coming from Massachusetts where he's paid unbelievable amount of taxes. It's a win-win-win for everybody. We need Brady in Vegas. But I am a Patriots fan till the day I die.
Final question, who do you have on Sunday?
Okay, so I think this is a tough game to call. I mean, even the line is like 1.5. I think the defenses win Super Bowls, so you got to go with San Francisco. But Mahomes is a stud, and he's hard to bet against. But I got San Francisco.
Okay. I always like to thank my guests when they come on, so we're going to send you some gear from 8 Man Strong. But I had to step it up a notch. So we have another sponsor. It's called Arcade 1-Up. So we're going to send you any console, any cabinet of anything that they make. They're going to send to the UFC Center in Vegas, and then they can transport it to your house. So just let Dave Lockett or Chris Costello or one of those guys know which one you want, and it'll be mailed to you next week.
That's incredible. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right, let's go hit a quick break.